Vikings and the Packers. Packers 3.5-point home favorites over the Vikings. 47.5-48 is your total in this one. Guys, I already made my money on the Vikings. I know we can sit here and we can say, whether you think that they're fraudulent or this or whatever. They match up pretty well against the Packers. And now Aaron Rodgers comes out and says there's some sort of knee thing going on with him. And then last time, let's not forget this, guys. He had the thumb thing, and he said, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then he had like a 4-game stretch where he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So I'm not believing Aaron Rodgers that he's just going to say this knee thing's no big deal and that he's perfectly fine. I don't trust you anymore, Aaron Rodgers. All right, liar. So that has me either Vikings or pass. It's not in my account really quite yet, but I mean, look, this secondary is.
Hey, where'd you go?
Oh, here I'm back.
Oh,
what happened? This secondary can be had. I mean, and like I said, the Dolphins were torching them. Like the Dolphins were marching the ball against this Packers team, and then Tua got concussed. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. Also, he's still got Justin Jefferson, and he's got TJ Hawkinson, and he's got Adam Thielen, and they're going to be able to move the ball against the Packers here. Other side of a field goal, it's Vikings or pass for me, and it might end up in my account. At the very least, it'll be a contest play for me this week.
I am shocked that you haven't bet the Vikings yet this week, because I have bet the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, man. Like, I've been railing against the Vikings all season long. And the first rule of betting is there's always a price, right? There's always a buy point. And this is the buy point for me on the Vikings, plus 3.5. I think that this is quite the market upgrade for the Packers off wins against the Bears, the Rams, and a concussed Tua in the second half of that game. So more than a field goal here is a little much. The Packers D is just as bad as the Vikings defense. They are bottom 6 in early down success rate and yards per play. And if you want to give Aaron Rodgers and this offense credit for the past 4 weeks, they were 10th in success rate, 21st in drop back success rate. The Vikings were 9th and 6th in those statistics. So I think the Vikings can move the ball every bit as much on offense against this defense as the Packers can. But unlike recent weeks where the Vikings were 3.5-point favorites, 4-point favorites, now they're a 3.5-point dog. And it's a buy point for me because I'm not convinced, even though I'm pretty low on the Vikings overall, I'm not convinced that they are worse than the Packers, even with this kind of mini resurgence in Green Bay.
The narrative aspect also into play here, just a tad, Adam. The Vikings would love to make Justin Jefferson a 2,000-yard receiver. They would absolutely love to make that happen. I think they will force feed him, if at all possible, to make that happen. And listen, it's probably a pretty good damn strategy, as a matter of fact, to get the ball in that guy's hands as much as humanly possible. What do you see here at the 3.5?
And I think it's important, Matt, that you point to that 3.5. And I don't want to be too pedantic with people in talking about this, but we've talked so much about big line moves, right? About San Francisco running out, about Dallas running out. My eyes get big when I see 2.5 to 3 and 3 to 3.5. The market's telling you something in this spot. And I think it would be silly not to listen to that because we all can look and see that Green Bay's wins have not been impressive over the last few weeks. And we all, especially me, can look at the Minnesota Vikings after I had the experience as a Giants fan that so many fans of other teams have had this year of losing to the Vikings and saying, how in the hell did we lose that game to the Minnesota Vikings? I understand all of that. I'm not sold on either of these teams. And because of that, if the market's telling me that we're willing to not only move to 3, but through 3 when it comes to Green Bay and Minnesota, I'll take a pass.